In the Vedas, we talk of truth which is absolute, paramarthik, satyam, and we talk of truth which is translated into action, into the vyavharik, rhythm. Rhythm is truth in action. So my question to you, Dr. Singh, how do we use this truth with a capital T, satyam, to impact Indian culture, Indian politics, Indian values, the dharma that the Indian lives on a day-to-day basis? How do we use this truth to influence, impact, and perhaps transform the way we live in this country and the way we want to take this country forward?
Without getting caught up in idealism. But if we accept this concept or understanding that the truth cannot be limited,
Right,
cannot even be defined in our terms,
right,
difficult to enunciate, difficult to speak, as St. Paul used to say, you speak like a fool if you talk of the truth. And yet, it's real. It is more real than anything else. In fact, it is the only real thing. If truth is what it is, then that is the only real thing. So the problem is not that truth is not here. The problem is we don't see it. There is some kind of a shadow that is falling between in the way we see. It's almost like a prism through which light is going through and it's breaking apart.
As the Vedantis used to say, the veil of seeing itself.
Veil of seeing. That's a beautiful expression. So how do we carry that? How do we live that? I feel that the more we live, the more we are that. The more we live that while we are doing everything. The most intensest of things, ghor karma, as the Gita says. Intensest of things, if we carry that flame of truth, this understanding, then immediately there is a transformation. So if you look at some of our beautiful literature, beautiful arts, cultures, architecture, it was a very dynamic civilization where they tried to bring that understanding into practical life. And you see the vast proliferation in almost every field, starting in the arts, in business, in warfare. All kinds of new things were done. In poetry, every possible field was touched. Somewhere, of maybe 1,000, 2,000 years ago, we had kind of a break and we started shunning life. We started rejecting life because we felt that truth, the transcendental truth, is not alive, real here. And to find that, we have to withdraw from the world. That is one way of looking at it. The second is we lost, over the last few hundred years, probably under subjugation of foreign rulers, people who didn't have our understanding, the original insight, which was already clouded, that we are a religion unlike others, we are a philosophy like others, we are a geographically limited entity like others, even though we are such a confusing medley. If we use the regular definition of a philosophy or a religion or a denomination, and you try to put that on India, you will have such a confusion. You will not be able to point your finger at what it is, because the moment you take one concept, you have entirely the opposite concept right there, accepted equally, given equal importance, maybe at one time or the other. How do we bring that? I think the first is to find that original light or the awareness from which it all came, to learn from where we found the source from which this light came. if we can live that, the understanding that nothing can limit that reality, and to be able to live that. And our system does show us how to live it. The whole Vedanta, whole approach of yoga, the Gita, is all an attempt, or at least one way of showing us how this truth is manifested, how it can be lived. I'm not saying go back to yoga. I'm not even saying go back to Vedanta. But do we have the insight to catch the essence there? It may not be in that old language, maybe in a new language, but we have to relive. We have to find it in our words, in our terms, in our life, that beautiful flame that was captured in purity. Can we bring that purity back in our life?